Welcome to the class, students. Today we are continuing the third chapter, that is organ classification and the tabulation. We will see what do you mean by tabulation and some definitions in that. Let's see what do you mean by tabulation. The collected and the classified data can also be presented in the form of table. The tabular representation provides better understanding, comparisons and analysis to draw valid conclusions. The data will be arranged in the form of table containing rows and columns. A statistical table makes it possible for an investigator to present a huge mass of data in a detailed and orderly form. Classification and tabulation are not two distinct processes. Before tabulation, data are classified and then displayed under different columns and rows of the table. So, what do you mean by tabulation is? Tabulation is a process of systematic arrangement of the data in rows and columns in the form of a table. Let's see some objectives of that. The statistical arrangement of the data in a tabular form serves the following objectives. We have to see some objectives. It simplifies the complex data. Yes, while we are collecting the data, we will collect the huge data. That we are going to simplify that. To facilitate comparison, by looking at the table only we can do the comparison. To give an identity to the data. To reveal the trend and tendencies of the data. For diagrammatic and graphical representation, a tabulated data is essential. It facilitates computation of various statistical measures like averages, dispersion, correlations, etc. These are some objectives, main objectives of tabulation. Next, see parts of the table. First is table number. While we are framing a table or preparing a table, these steps or these parts of the table or these instructions should be followed. First is table number. The number should be given to each and every table in order to distinguish and also for easy reference. Usually the table number is written at the right hand corner at the top of the table. Next is title of the table. A title should be given to the table. The title should indicate in short the content of the table, which will be written at the top in bold letters. At the top we have to write the title of the table, so that it will suggest what is there, what is the content of the table, which type of data we are seeing. Seeing the title of that, we can identify which type of on which basis they have tabulated this, that we are going to see. Head note or a subtitle. It is a brief explanatory note or statement given just below the heading of the table, put in the bracket. The statistical units of measurements such as in thousands, rupees, millions, crores, kgs, liters, etc. Those things should be mentioned in the head note or the subtitle. Next is caption. Column heading are called captions. They explain that columns are always written in one or two words on the top of each column. You know that what is column heading. These are the columns. That heading we call it as a captions. Next is strups. Row headings are called strups. They explain what the row represents. Strups are usually written in one or two words at the left extreme sides of each row. Next is body of the table. The body of the table contains numerical data. The data should be well balanced, that is length and breadth should have appropriate ratio in according to the size of the paper. According to the size of the paper, the length and breadth at each cell should have this more spacious. Next is footnote. It is generally written below the table, explaining in brief and preciously, clarifying anything special referring to the table such as conclusions, remarks, inferences, omissions, additions, abbreviations, etc. These things should be mentioned in the footnote. And last thing is source. Below footnote or below the table, the source of the data may be mentioned for verification of the reader. Just see this general format of a table. Here at the right, top of the right, it is a table number. Next is title. In that, below that, it is a subtitle or the head note. In next is stub headings, that is row headings. Next column, that is captions. Next sub entries. Next body of the table, footnote and the source. This is the general format of a table. This is the general format of the table. Next, we have to follow some rules for tabulation. Okay. First is size. The size of the table should be according to the size of the paper with more rows than columns. Exchange of data can be done by altering the columns and the rows. A sufficient space should be provided in a particular cell to enter any new or to alter any affected figures. So, size of the each cell should be maintained equally, each and every rows and columns. Next is logical order. The stubs and captions should be arranged logically according to the alphabetical, chronological, geographical order. Items are to be arranged according to the description of stubs and the captions. Okay. These are the some rules we have to follow while we are doing the tabulation. Third point is the table should not be overloaded with number of characteristics, rather can be prepared another table, that is, in case if it is not possible to accommodate all the information in a single table, it is better to have two or more related tables. Yes, if the table is overloaded, if the rows and columns are more, we cannot understand the table. So that to avoid that overloading, we can do two or more tables for better understanding. The table should be complete in all respects. Yes, no cells should be left blank. Either you should put a hyphen or write not available, NA, like that. Miscellaneous columns can be provided for the presentation of ratios, percentages, etc. of the data. Ditto marks should not be used. Ditto marks, that double inverted comma, that should not be used in our tables, as they may confuse with the row or column. Footnote, it is used to explain omissions, any remarks regarding the numerical entries of the data in the table. The sources, the data obtained from publications, organizations, journals, etc. should be mentioned. These are some rules we have to follow while we are doing the tabulation. Next, we have types of tables. Tables can be classified according to their purpose, nature of the data or number of characteristics as follows. One is simple or one-way table, two-way table and manifold table. These are the three types of tables we have to follow. One is simple or one-way table. If only one characteristic is represented in the table, it is called a simple or one-way table. For example, you just see this example. Here they have given the table number, title of the table and one-way table. Okay, go through this table. This is one-way table, example for one-way table. Here they have mentioned the blank table given below represents the number of residents with different occupations in the localities. Occupations and number of residents they have given. This is simple and one-way table. Next is two-way table. If two characteristics are represented in a table, it is called two-way table. Here either stub or caption or both is divided into two coordinate parts. Whether we can divide a row or column into two parts. This is the example for two-way table. Here they have mentioned the occupations and number of residents. In number of residents, how many men are there, women are there, and the total they have given. This is two-way table. Here they have mentioned two characteristics, that is men and women. And next is, last one is manifold table. Manifold table. If more than two characteristics are represented in a table, it is called manifold table. Here stubs or captions are divided into two or more parts. You just see this table. Okay, this is the manifold table. In this table, it's a blank table represents the residents of the locality according to their occupation, sex and marital status. So, just go through this example. This is an example for manifold table. This is an example for manifold table. Next class we will solve some problems on classification and tabulations. Okay, thank you.